For this week's quiz, I want you to try to recreate this example I have here. It is a twin-stick shooter that uses WASD for movement and mouse for aiming. This is how twin-stick shooters are typically set up for mouse and keyboard. Here are some tips. I've marked the position of the mouse with a sprite. Notice that my character still aims at the mouse, even when it's not pointing at geometry in the scene. To accomplish this, I'm not using physics.raycast. Instead, I use the plane class to instantiate an infinite plane, and then I use the plane.raycast method to find where my ray intersects the plane. I set the position of a round sprite where the intersection occurs. Since I'm creating an infinite plane where y equals 0, I move down the floor mesh to the same position. To get the correct angle to rotate the player, we need to find the vector between the player's position and the sprite position. Use trigonometry and the inverse tan function to get the angle. Remember to convert from radians to degrees. If the player rotates the wrong way, you may have to flip the sign, that's SIGN, and add or subtract 90 degrees. Once the player moves and aims correctly, when the player clicks, have the game cast a ray from the player's position towards the sprite position. However, first modify the sprite position so that the ray cast is horizontal and the player isn't shooting into the floor. And then if you put all of the enemies into a layer, you can use a layer mask to check for collision detection and remove the enemies when they're shot by the player. See if you can recreate this example. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, and good luck!